Welcome back to the Crypto World channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now the Bitcoin price is still in this consolidation range, but we are currently seeing new divergences on the charts, and we've also got some other indicators like the Bollinger Bands showing a huge move is just about to happen. I'll be covering all of that and so much more in this video, so make sure you're watching all the way to the end so that you're not missing out on any of this valuable information. And just before we jump into it, if that sounds good to you, make sure to leave a like on the video down below. And if you're new to the channel, you might as well subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates just like this every single day. But anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's get straight to what this video is about. So right here, we're on the Bitcoin US dollar chart on the 4-hour time frame. And as I said around 4 days ago, I said it's very likely that this uptrend is going to slow down a little bit, and we're basically due for some sort of short-term cool-off. And a short-term cool-off is basically just a loss of the bullish momentum in the imminent short term, and we've seen exactly that over the past 4 days as expected. There was a lot of people telling me that I was going to be wrong around 4 days ago and that we were just going to keep pumping straight to the upside, but we were definitely due for some sort of cool-off, some sort of consolidation like what we're seeing right now, because this is actually great to see. This is resetting some of these price oscillators, so the RSI and the MACD, for example, are heading to the downside, which will mean that later on we will have more room to the upside because they will be at some lower values. Compared to 4 days ago on the 4-hour time frame, at least, we were in overbought areas on the RSI. But this is also known as a bearish divergence. And technically speaking, what a bearish divergence actually means is essentially we're due for more sideways price action or perhaps a slight move to the downside. But with that being said, I'm not actually betting on a slight move to the downside, even though that does remain a possibility, and it's important for us to remain flexible and not necessarily expect only upside price action. I'm definitely not by any means opening a short position, and I'm not closing any of my long positions, because for me to do that, I'll have to flip more bearish on Bitcoin, and for that to happen, we would need to break below some important support levels, such as the golden pocket at around 53,000 US dollars, all the way down towards 51K. So basically, if we start breaking below 50,000, then that could be when we're looking a little bit more bearish, but obviously we have not seen that at all. And so the trend is your friend, and it's very clear that we are in a strong uptrend, even though during an uptrend, we can have these short-term cool-offs. It's obviously more profitable to be a bull in an uptrend and obviously a bear when we're in a downtrend like we were in September. And so even if we do see a little bit of bearish price action play out, I would consider that myself as a buying opportunity, and perhaps an opportunity to scale up my long positions and enter in at lower prices. But at the moment on the Bitcoin chart, we have this strong support coming in at around 53,500 US dollars. And we also have this resistance coming in at around 55.5K approximately. But if you're looking at the tops of the wicks here, then that's coming in at around 56,000, just above 56K. And we're still potentially playing out this W pattern, as I mentioned yesterday on the channel. And obviously we are still forming this bullish flag as well, but I'm not going to go over those again for the subscribers out there. I don't want you to be hearing the same thing over and over. So for any new viewers on the channel that missed my last Bitcoin update, definitely go back on the channel and watch that one after you finish watching this video, because in my Bitcoin video yesterday, I explained the bull flag and this W pattern in more detail alongside their technical price targets. And now bringing out the Bollinger Bands here on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and what we can see here is the Bollinger Bands are currently squeezing. Whenever we see this, that means a huge move is coming soon, and I'll show you some examples. Back here on the 19th of September, when we were seeing a lot of sideways consolidation and the Bollinger Bands squeezing quite a lot here on the 4-hour time frame, that was getting us ready for a very volatile move about to happen. And you can clearly see within the next 1 to 2 days, we did indeed see that very volatile move, and in that case, it was to the downside. And going to the next time round where we saw these Bollinger Bands squeeze, that was right here on the 4th of October after we saw long sideways consolidation. And that time round, it was within a few hours that we started seeing the volatile move for Bitcoin. And in this case, that huge move was clearly to the upside. So how can we tell whether it's going to be to the downside or to the upside? Well, one key thing to look at is the trends that we're currently in. For example, back here, this was during September, and we were, as I mentioned, clearly in a downtrend throughout September. And so when we saw that squeeze in the Bollinger Bands back in around the middle of September, technically speaking, the trend is our friend. So it is a little bit more likely for us to turn around to the downside again. And also considering the fact that back then we did not break above the golden pocket and all of those other important levels that I was talking about back then, if you're watching those videos. But right now we have broken above very important resistance. For example, this previous $53,000 high, we're currently above that. So all of those previous resistance points are now support for the Bitcoin price. And also we're clearly in an uptrend for Bitcoin. So with all of that in mind, technically speaking, it is more likely for us to see this huge move to the upside than it is to the downside. It's still not impossible for us to see a move to the downside. I want to make that clear because nothing is 100% certain in these markets. And this was what I was talking about over on my Twitter, which by by the way, if you're not following me over on Twitter, definitely make sure you're doing that for extra updates throughout the day. And the link to my Twitter is in the description down below. And just quickly checking out the Bitcoin order books across all of these exchanges, because right now they are showing some important levels to pay attention to, especially for the Bitcoin holders out there. We're seeing a decent increase in the sell orders placed at around 56.1k, which is exactly where the tops of these wicks are for Bitcoin, where we have been finding resistance. So yeah, the reason behind that resistance is due to the fact that we've got a lot of sell orders at that level. If we can start getting well above 56,000 US dollars, then the sell orders start dropping off a little bit more after that, and especially after we get above 57,000, they drop off quite a lot. And as for buy orders to the downside, we've got a decent surge in the buy orders coming in at around 53.9k all the way down towards 53.6k. So that $200 price range between 53.6k and 53.9k, that will act as some short-term support for Bitcoin at the very least. And we've also got a decent buy wall coming in at around 52,000 US dollars. So those are the levels that will be acting as support, at least according to the order books right here. And just really quickly giving you guys another update on the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, we've dropped down just one more level compared to where we were yesterday. So this is still heading in the right direction, and this is exactly why we need these short-term call-offs so that we can reset these types of indicators. But I'm not going to waste your time and go into much more detail about this indicator because I've talked about it quite a lot over the past 1 to 2 days on the channel. And right now, there's a Bitcoin strategy that's pulling in an 800x return. You heard that right. The top strategy at the moment on Prime XBT is making an 83,000% return. And currently there's nearly 1,300 people following this strategy. Now, obviously do your own research when it comes to this sort of stuff because it does come with its risks. But with that being said, this is something that I'm checking out myself because you can actually follow these traders and see how they're making an 83,000% return. And once again, this is all on Prime XBT, and you'll actually find a link to Prime XBT, which is one of the exchanges that I use, in the description down below. And it will also be in the pinned comment down below. In fact, it will be the first link in the description and the first link in the pinned comment. And what's cool is if you use that link, you can actually get a 50% deposit bonus. So let's just say if you deposited $500, you'll get a $500 bonus, but you'll only get that bonus if you actually use that link down below. And if you enjoyed this video or got something valuable out of the video, make sure to leave a like down below. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on for more updates like this every day. And also, if you want to earn passive income in crypto, like how I'm making around $100 every single day with no work required. Just the other day, I posted a video showing exactly how I do that, and that video is popping up right here. So definitely check that one out if you haven't already. But anyway, that's really everything I have to say for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.